Earth is currently a planet dominated by humans, or at least that's what humanity believes. However, it is a world filled with countless mysteries, fears, and mystical occurrences. Many communities believe in various gods, religions, and symbols, and every culture has its own legends of mythical creatures. One of these is the Yeti, also known as Bigfoot, a creature that has been the subject of countless stories over the years, and is often regarded as a terrifying monster among people. Forests appear mysterious and frightening to many people. They are home to countless different creatures and still undiscovered beings. Many believe in the existence of these hidden creatures that remain unknown to humanity, which is why many are afraid to enter forests alone and unarmed. Additionally, people who venture into forests without properly following their paths often find themselves almost hypnotized, losing their sense of direction and never finding their way out. They believe they are moving toward the forest's edge, but in reality, they are heading deeper into its heart. Forests in mountainous areas are especially terrifying, primarily due to the legends of Yetis, which have instilled fear in countless communities and individuals for years. Yetis are approximately twice the size of an average human, and according to some eyewitnesses, they can be even larger. Their appearance is often described as a mix between a bear and a gorilla, and they are considered extremely aggressive creatures, despite their legendary status. Yetis have never been conclusively proven to exist through camera footage or fossil evidence. However, they have been the subject of myths and legends for centuries. Some mountaineers climbing snowy, forested mountains have reported encountering a very large and incredibly fast creature, describing it as causing harm to animals and its surroundings while emitting loud, thunderous roars. According to legend, Yetis were quite skilled at forming bonds with certain humans. These bonds were so strong that the Yetis would hunt for them, protect their shelters, and keep them safe from potential dangers. Yetis are most commonly reported in the Himalayan regions of Nepal and Tibet, and they are generally believed to reside in these areas. For the local people, Yetis are not just animals, but also mythological heroes. In recent years, eyewitness accounts of Yetis in these regions have become increasingly rare. However, one of the main reasons scientists and researchers cannot definitively say that Yetis do not exist is the abundance of Yeti depictions found in ancient tombs, caves, and monuments. These carvings and paintings of Yetis on walls suggest that humans frequently encountered, communicated with, and possibly coexisted with them in the past. The Yetis believed to inhabit the Himalayan region that appeared in different cultures under various names. Over time, people claim to have seen creatures resembling Yetis, sharing similar characteristics, in places like America, Africa, and certain regions of Russia. Seeing how intriguing and bizarre this topic is, some documentary filmmakers and researchers set out to the regions where Yetis are most likely to be spotted. They established camps and placed cameras in an effort to find any trace of these elusive creatures. Settling in mountainous, cold, and forested areas, the researchers tried numerous methods to attract the Yetis. For example, assuming they were carnivores, they spread the scent of both raw and cooked meat throughout the forest. Additionally, to ensure the creatures wouldn't be frightened, they created the quietest and darkest environment possible. For days, the researchers remained vigilant, jumping at every little sound and heading deep into the forest to trace its source. However, the noises usually turned out to be caused by animals like rabbits, squirrels, or snakes. On a few occasions, though, they discovered several large, clawed footprints that were much bigger than those of any known bear. To identify the owner of these footprints, they examined the physical characteristics of all bear species, but found no matches. After approximately another month in the forest, the researchers were unable to uncover anything more than a few footprints and mysterious sounds. Eventually, they decided to give up and concluded their research and documentary, leaving the area. Since Yetis are mostly found in mountainous and snowy areas, their physical characteristics are believed to be adapted to such environments. Their fur is thought to be light-colored or white. Many sources claim that Yetis walk upright on two legs, much like humans. However, it is clear that humans and historical depictions do not have sufficient information about the physical appearance and characteristics of Yetis, as their features seem to change with every story and description. As individuals who are curious about science, nature, space, and many related topics, We always seek accurate and reliable sources. However, unlike the majority, we also believe that the world is not solely composed of material and physical entities. There may be many things that are currently considered legends, but could exist, even if their presence hasn't been conclusively proven. We believe these possibilities should not be dismissed outright. Humans, since the dawn of history, have always been in a state of learning and development. While we recognize that much of mythology and accounts of such creatures may be highly exaggerated, it's possible that there are still undiscovered, hidden, and incredibly wild legendary creatures in our world and forests. For this reason, we don't outright believe that Yetis are purely mythical or non-existent. Anyway, let's get back to Yetis. In 1925, N.A. Tombosi, a member of the Royal Geographical Society and a photographer, claimed to have seen a creature near the Zimu Glacier from a climb at approximately 4,572 meters above sea level. Observing the creature for a few minutes, Tombosi described it as follows: "Without a doubt, the figure outlined unmistakably resembled a human, walking upright and occasionally stopping to pull at dwarf rhododendron bushes. It appeared dark against the snow and, as far as I could tell, was unclothed." Approximately 2 hours later, Tombosi and his companions descended the mountain and came across what they believed to be the creature's footprints. He described them as resembling those of a human, but only 6 to 7 inches long and 4 inches wide. The footprints were undoubtedly made by a bipedal creature. Later, the physical traits of the creature Tombosi described were compared to those of the legendary Yeti. According to his account, the footprints measured between 6 to 7 inches in length, which seemed very small compared to the size attributed to Yetis in folklore. A creature with such small feet could not possibly stand to 0.5 to 4 meters tall, as described in the myths. Additionally, in 1951, Eric Shipton, while attempting to climb Mount Everest, discovered a series of footprints in the snow at an altitude of around 6,000 meters. He photographed the prints and brought the evidence back down. The footprints underwent extensive analysis, but researchers were unable to determine which creature had left them. For many, these footprints were the strongest evidence supporting the existence of Yetis, but others argued that the tracks might have belonged to another animal, their shape distorted by Everest's harsh weather conditions. Some explorers, who found the research on Yetis insufficient, argued for more detailed and long-term investigations into the subject. This led to the largest expedition and research effort ever conducted about Yetis. In 1954, this expedition was named the Daily Mail Snowman Expedition and was led by mountaineer Angelo Jackson. Jackson prepared for the lengthy journey and completed the first trek from Everest to Kanchenjunga, during which he photographed symbolic depictions of Yetis at Thayangboche. The footprints he discovered, which were much larger than those previously photographed on Everest, convinced many people that Yetis might truly exist. However, skeptics including scientists and researchers who refused to entertain the possibility of Yetis argued that these footprints, like those on Everest, had been altered and enlarged by environmental factors such as wind, weather conditions, and heavy snowfall. Nevertheless, the expedition uncovered something far stranger and more mysterious than footprints. At Pangboche Monastery, researchers discovered a scalp and hair samples. These hairs were analyzed by Frederick Wood Jones, an anatomy specialist, and compared to the fur of animals like bears, humans, and orangutans. The hairs appeared dark brown in dim, shaded light, but turned fox red under sunlight. The researchers believed these hairs might belong to a creature from a very ancient time. After extensive testing, they were unable to determine the animal to which the hairs belonged. Moreover, the hairs didn't resemble those found on a head, but seemed more like the type of hair found on shoulders or running along the spine, as seen in some animals. Despite their efforts to match the samples with known species, they were unable to find a match, leaving the mystery unsolved. Later, in 1957, an affluent American oilman named Tom Slick, who had a deep interest in these matters, funded numerous research projects to support such investigations. 2 years later, in 1959, during one of Slick's expeditions, explorers came across some droppings that they believed might belong to a Yeti. They collected the samples and brought them back for analysis. During the research, they discovered certain parasites within the droppings that were not found in any known animal. or human species. This finding was both intriguing and encouraging for the researchers, as parasites are often unique to their hosts. Despite this discovery, the investigation failed to definitively prove the existence of Yetis. As humanity's technology advanced, people became increasingly determined to prove the existence of the Yeti. Over the years, numerous expeditions, studies, experiments, and documentaries were conducted. However, none of these efforts produced conclusive evidence of the creature's existence. Apart from footprints, droppings, hair samples of unknown origin, and eyewitness accounts, there was no substantial evidence to confirm the existence of the Yeti. Scientists argue that if a creature has been the subject of so much research, experimentation, and documentation over the years, it would inevitably be proven to exist at some point. As a result, they conclude that the Yeti is likely a myth or legend. Furthermore, many people who claim to have seen a Yeti in the mountains or forests are likely mistaking what they saw for large regional animals, such as bears or certain species of apes, which share several physical characteristics with the Yeti. As you know, bears and apes exhibit many physical similarities to the Yeti, making them plausible explanations for these sightings. Additionally, while we referred to Yetis as Bigfoot at the beginning of the video, it's important to note that Yetis and Bigfoot are actually two different species. The confusion arises because their stories often overlap or get intertwined, leading to the misconception that they are the same creature. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is found in North America and is described as an ape-human hybrid roaming the forests. These creatures share many physical traits with Yetis, but there are notable differences. For instance, while some legends depict Yetis as walking on all fours, Sasquatch is always said to walk on two legs and display human-like movements. Furthermore, Sasquatch is portrayed as much more aggressive than Yetis and less capable of forming communication or bonds with humans. At one point, numerous television shows and documentary channels aired programs dedicated to finding Sasquatch, where people camped out in forests to search for them. Sadly, some individuals driven by curiosity and a fascination with myths and legends ventured into forests to search for Sasquatch and tragically lost their lives. We plan to create another detailed video specifically about Sasquatch, exploring how they differ from Yetis. If you enjoy our videos, please don't forget to like them. Supporting our channel by subscribing helps us grow, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and ideas for future topics in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.